Hello, welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You see the hands are getting a little bit worse. This one's all messed up. And let's get right into this rat. I think today we're going to make a white rat. We might end up painting it a little bit later. I did have a lot of fun with those skin tone rats, but I'm out of the correct color, or I need to adjust my recipe at least to get a little bit of a variation of color. This is an all-inclusive channel. We're not making only Caucasian rats. We're going to make every kind of rat under the sun. And today we're just going to do a quick rat. We're not going to spend our whole night doing this one rat. We have a lot of rats to do. It's early in the night. We got to get these rats knocked out. I've got the order list going pretty far backdated on the order list. But we're just going to do something kind of casual. Not going to worry too much about the order list right now. I did get a person today that told me one of my rats looked like it had a male reproductive organ for a nose, and that was kind of something I didn't expect. And then obviously when someone says something like that, you can't unsee it. So that did kind of slow me down today. Took a lot of wind out of my sails. Just making the base for this rat really quickly. But yes, when people do say things like that, it does slow you down mentally. It makes you kind of rethink everything. What have I been doing with my time making these rats? Have I accidentally... And I didn't ever see that, but again, like I say, the rat is just a mirror. There's a famous lyric, just a mirror for the sun, and these rats are just a mirror for the human condition, really, at the end of the day, because you're seeing things that aren't there. That's just telling me it's really a lesson in psychology. Psychologists should buy my rats, and psychologists should have these rats bedside or wherever they may practice, in an office. Psychiatrists, psychologists, everyone in the mental health sector should have these rats, because when someone sees a rat, one of these rats specifically that I make, you would be shocked at some of the things you hear people say about these rats. I actually had to Google today. Someone told me that my rat looked like an unemployed Kevin Gallagher. Yeah, I mean, you can't even make that. I don't even know who that is. I had to Google it. I didn't see it at all, but in that person's heart, I believe they did see an unemployed Kevin Gallagher in my rat. And in my heart, I do believe that person saw a male reproductive organ as my rat's nose, and it wasn't there. It was a nose. But sometimes the mind will trick you, and you will see and hear things that are not real, that are not there. Now, usually that's just a dream, but sometimes you can have a waking nightmare or a waking dream where you... And in other rare instances, you might see a rat on the internet and display similar symptoms to having a nightmare or waking dream. You might start seeing things that are not there and displaying signs of slight psychosis at the fact that you've just been, absolutely bamboozled by a rat. You got a rat so far into your head, and it is really a shame. but every day I seem to get something you would never think someone would say. The rat looks like Kevin Gallagher. Okay. I'm sure it does. You know. But other than that, been getting fairly decent reception to the rats. I've been a rat maker for some time, but I haven't been really, haven't developed an online presence. I've been more of a word of mouth rat maker. And now that I am kind of trying to get myself out there a little bit, I am noticing that a lot of people do have things going on with them in some way or another, and I do think in a lot of ways these rats, these polymer clay rats that I make, kind of are therapy animals in a way, because they'll make you talk, they'll make you tell, you know, they'll show you who you really are. You know, you come around these rats and you're gonna either you're gonna break, or you're gonna be strong, and you're gonna just say, no, that's a really great rat, but it's just a rat. It's just a rat. And that's about where I am with it. I think they're just rats, and to me they honestly are just rats. But every once in a while you get someone who's hell bent, and I don't want to even get into the whole possession. You know, I lost my wife left me as soon as I got the rat. She filed the papers as soon as I got the rat. Well, is it the rat or is it you? Because I'm sure the rat didn't, you know, come into your life and take your family from you, as many have claimed. I'm positive that my rats are not. I think maybe people have issues with timing when they purchase the rat from me, or when whatever's going on with them. That and again, one day I will make one of these kind of just boom like that rats, but not today. But yeah, I do think that I do feel bad for a lot of people who don't have anyone to decompress to, or, you know, vent to, I should say. Don't have any hobbies, any means of decompression. Lucky for me, I'm a full-time rat artist, a rat crafter, and this keeps me very calm. This is my passion, and I do this pretty much day in and day out. I don't film, obviously, all my rats, because I run out of things very quickly to blab on about. But there are a lot of people out there who could really use, as I always say, something that they could call their rat, something they could call their hobby, their life's work. But a lot of them go to the internet and falsely accuse my rats and other creatures and people of things that are not really there. Again, I will say, you know, every day if I have to, the rats are not possessed. The rats I'm selling are not possessed. The rats did not cause your bankruptcy, or the rats did not tow your car. Whatever's going on in your life, you gotta find something other than the rats to blame, because it's not, you know, it's not always the rat. What's that saying that they say, the early rat gets the worm? Something like that. The truth is, that's not true at all. The truth is, the rat that gets the worm is the rat that, gets the worm is the rat that doesn't accuse the rats of worm stealing. Doesn't accuse the rats of ruining their lives, haunting them, possessing them. Now it's in my dreams. Can't stop seeing the rat in my sleep, etc., etc. It's so tiring every day to have to be fighting these battles with these people. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. I was talking to a friend, speaking of mental health, about the big three in the big three of fast food, if you will. And we don't really eat fast food that much, but the big three to me, I realized, is not the same as the big three to everyone else, which is an interesting kind of thing to think about. So comment your big three below, and I will reveal my big three momentarily. I'll reveal my big three in 3, 2, 1. McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King is what I always... I'm not saying they're the best three by any means, but those are always what I consider the big three. When someone says the big three of fast food, that's usually what... Anyway, that really has nothing to do with rats, but it does have a lot to do with mental health, because a lot of the same people who get up in arms about the rats, you figure out very quickly, you see the links, okay, these people cannot stop eating McNuggets. These people are, things like that, and then you think, well, it can't be something in the food, because I've been eating, not McNuggets, but, foods like that for years, and I've surely never seen a ghost and then blamed it on a rat, but I do think something to do with mental health. I do think there's some kind of connection there that I'm not fully able to grasp, and I think the reason I'm thinking about fast food is because I'm making another rat that kind of resembles the Pizza Hut shark rat, so maybe that's what I'm thinking. I couldn't tell you honestly what's going on in my mind. Half the times I'm just zoning out, blabbing about rats. I'll never even remember what I said in this, and then I'm sure someone will take issue again with something I said at some point, and we'll have a whole nother incident. We're constantly having these incidents on the internet with my rats is, always fighting for my rats, constantly trying to defend my rats, trying to let people know, man, just back off the rats. You can't even spell art without rats, so you tell me. You tell me, brother. I like to get the, if it's fresh, if it's like fresh out of the, all things considered, if it is very fresh, I would take McDonald's gladly any day over the other two. How about you? Let me know in the comments. But I guess it is kind of like rats, fast food is a lot like rats. Some days you have a different preference. Today I prefer this kind of rat. Today I prefer this kind of rat. Whatever it may be. And I haven't given this one kind of a wizard look. But we are going to go over the top on the eyes. And I think I might even take it way over the top with this one. Just let me get my tools. And I'm thinking about, when I say way over the top, I'm talking like way over the top. I got a couple different ball styluses can't be a word, right? Ball styli, ball. Seems like one of those words that would be styli or something like that. We'll try this one. And what I'm doing here, you see these bulges I created. These are just going to be gigantic eye holes. We're just going to press it all the way straight down. Sometimes I don't know what I'm getting into until I already fully crafted the rat. Sometimes I'm not really even sure until it's already, the rat's already fully crafted what we're dealing with. And I don't know how I feel about this one, if I like it or if I hate it. I tend to think I love this rat, actually, but maybe the nose needs a little rework. It's been getting kind of stale with the noses, I think, especially maybe that woman got in my head on the internet. Make it kind of more ratty. I might do a wash on this. I might put this through the oven, take it out and do a little wash action on this bad boy. I don't think anything's wrong with this rat. I think this one's pretty good. Let's give this bad boy some ears and move on with the night. We got a lot of stuff to do. 2 same size pieces. And just take, if you have to readjust your size of your ears, just take a small amount, a little tiniest pinch. That's all you really need. You don't need to get too crazy. A little bit at a time. I guess I underdid that, right? And they don't have to be perfect. I'll press that down. I'll press that down. And they're about equal size. Pick it up. Find the ear, place the ear, and work the ear into the head. I think that's in there pretty good. We'll add this one now. Find the location. Again, this is all about kind of quickly working kind of quickly. You don't want to linger too long. You kind of just want to find that position, lock that position. So I'm kind of just finding the ears, locking them in. And you see they're not perfect, but guess what? No ears are perfect. Human or otherwise, rat or human. Now what you could do, since this one is kind of, this side's a little bit more kind of, I don't want to go too crazy. I'm just gonna increase the size over here, but I don't think it's really necessary. I could actually do a little bit of a draw right there. Kind of make it like a gaunt rat. Easy there. Find the position. Yep. And then we'll just lightly kind of work that. This actually kind of looks like a rat's skull, I think, more than anything. Okay, so let's see if I put this ear up or put this ear down. Well, I think that's pretty good right there. So we'll get this rat in the oven. We'll come back with the eyes and the rest of the rat. Back out of the oven with this rat here. And I think we're going to give this rat some orange eyes. And I'm going to use some of this, it's not freckle juice because that would be kind of idea thievery, I think. Just going to use some of this stuff, the water freckle, it is freckle juice. It's knockoff freckle juice. I will not lie to you there. And we're going to use a round brush. Round brush was my original favorite brush style when I first got into painting and things of the like. So I guess for right now, really all we have to do is get the eyes in this rat and then rebake it one more time. I do think I might be able to get some of the color on first though. So let me see if I can find my trusty pen. There it is. And we will do the much argued cross decoration. Okay. And then what I'm thinking I'm going to do is try some of this. I'll move this over here. I'm just going to take a little bit of this water out. Pour it on this plate here. And I'm going to try some of this for the nose and the lips on this specific rat. But I'm not 100% sure that that's the direction we're going to go. I might go black for the nose and lips based on the color that I think I'm going to end up doing uh-oh, I don't think I got any liquid there. I'm sorry, the color that I'm going to end up doing the eyes. And there we go. I screwed up the cross a little bit there. That's okay. There are ways you can fix that. I can come back with a little bit of alcohol wipe kind of set up on that. Or a couple ways I can come back from that. Again, this is not watercolor, so you're getting a very subtle effect of paint color here. And you can just increase that by adding more layers, essentially, is what you can do. I don't think I'm going to add too many layers. I think I don't want it to, like even this puddling is making me slightly uncomfortable here. I'm going to get that out of there a little bit. I do kind of like the effect that we're dealing with here. And what I'm going to do is just drop the eyes in, and then I will bake this again to get the eyes locked into place, and then we'll decide if we're going to stick with the pink for the trim, or if we're going to go ahead and switch to black on the trim. This is way too big, I think, here. This is overkill. Still a little bit overkill even for this side. And now I'm being very cautious not to get this all over the white rat. You want to keep it kind of okay. I think what I gotta do is just very carefully, once I place it, just kind of push it in. Don't overdo it here, just very lightly. I pat it into place. And I do think that will stay in position. I might make this one a little bit less bulgy of an eye. Just kind of make an eye that just fills the gap and not so much just and just like that. You drop your eye. I would say this piece of clay is pretty much out of commission, ruined. That's not a big deal though. We'll just get another piece, different piece, kind of form the eyeball. I do think that's about the right size. I just want to get it a little more. That's pretty much what I'm looking for there. I'm not fully decided if I'm going to keep the current color layout. With the pink, it's very light. I don't know if it's going to be, if it's going to get the effect enough across. Let's try to slap a little more pink on there, a little more red on there, see if we get any. And I think this one might need to go with the black nose, but or actually just go full pink. But for now, I will wash my hands. We'll put this in the oven, and we will be back to make those decisions. This rat was the one that I said I overshot a little bit on the eye. And I'm going to just show you a quick way to fix that. You can use an alcohol wipe, which I was about to do, but I'm going to show you another way. You can take a scraper tool and just very lightly just kind of scrape away, and you can, it's not as neat, but you can eventually scrape away enough. And actually, I'm thinking this might be a kind of a nice looking effect now that I'm looking at it. Let's kind of scrape out a shape around that. Actually, that's not too bad, but I think I will still kind of clean up a little tiny bit here. You gotta be very careful because this is a small alcohol wipe. You don't want to get it on the eyes. I think if you've seen that episode, that was a nightmare I thought I had a clay that I could clean up with the alcohol, and it ruined the whole clay. It was one of my earlier builds for the channel. It was a black rat with maroon, and it was a nightmare. I had to repaint it. It wasn't a nightmare, it was quick, but I did have to repaint it. And I actually kind of like that little rough look there. I think the nose and ear color came out good. I think it does need a little bit more on the ears. And I think maybe when the summer comes around, I'll do a full sunburnt rat. Full group of sunburnt rats. But for now, I think this one will go in the oven, and we will be back when it is time to finish this rat. Alright, back to finish this rat. I did go ahead and add the whiskers preemptively. Save a little bit of time here in the video process. I think this might just be two large eyes. I don't think we're going to go for the double that I've been going for here. It's kind of like right in the center, kind of right about here, I think. We'll see how it looks. Kind of just go by feeling for these. I think that looks pretty good. Chop the whiskers down just a smidgen. Look at the side view here. Side view here. Front view of the rat. I think I might give it this side nah, I'm not even going to go too crazy here. That is it for this rat, and I will put some pictures now so you can see the finished product.